Welcome to the very first episode of Video Game Anti-Review, the channel that's here to criticize the worst parts of your favorite games. Because let's be real, sometimes games are like the one friend who always shows up late to the party. You love them, but man, they've got some issues. Today's victim, Avowed.
On sync.
It is the latest action-adventure RPG from Obsidian. That's the same studio that brought us games such as Pillars of Eternity, Grounded, and Outer Worlds. We're going to be diving into the 5 most annoying traits that action-adventure RPGs love to include in their games, even though gamers have been pleading for them to stop including these since they were first introduced. So grab your popcorn, your energy drink, and maybe even a stress ball, because we're about to break down Avowed like it's the piñata at a very angry birthday party. But first, let's talk about the anti-review grading. We are going to be looking at 5 categories. First, repetitive side quest, also known as fetch quests. Second, clunky combat mechanics, because nothing says fun like button mashing until your thumb falls off. Third, empty open worlds, also known as walking simulators. Fourth, poorly written dialogue, when NPCs make you want to skip every cutscene. And the last one, microtransactions and/or grindy progression, because who doesn't love paying $20 for a virtual hat? Each category gets a score of 0, 1, or 2. 0 means the game nailed it. 1 means it's got some issues, and 2 means it's a dumpster fire. And yes, the lower the score, the better, because this is the anti-review, and we're all about that tough love. Let's get into it. Fetch quests, the bread and butter of RPGs, or should I say the banana peel of RPGs. Slippery, annoying, and always showing up when you least want it. You know the drill. Hey hero, can you go collect 10 bear pelts? Oh, and while you're at it, deliver this letter to my cousin who lives on the other side of the map. Thanks. Avowed unfortunately isn't immune to this. There are definitely quests where you're running back and forth like a glorified UPS driver. Oh, you need me to fetch another magical doodad? Cool. Let me just cancel my plans to save the world real quick. But here's the twist. Most of the side quests are actually good. Like, I want to hang out with the NPCs after the quest good. The characters are interesting, the stories are engaging, and the rewards actually feel worth it. So while there are a few fetch quests sprinkled in, they're more like raisins in a cookie. Annoying, but not enough to ruin the whole thing. Which leads me to giving this a score of 1 out of 2 for repetitive side quests. Because let's be honest, no game is perfect, except maybe Tetris. Tetris is flawless. Combat in RPGs can be a hit or miss. Pun absolutely intended. Sometimes it's smooth, satisfying, and makes you feel like a total badass. Other times it's like trying to fight with a pool noodle while wearing oven mitts. Luckily, Avowed leans more towards the badass side. The combat is versatile, letting you mix and match weapons, magic, and abilities to suit your playstyle. Want to be a sword-swinging maniac? Go for it. Prefer to rain fireballs from a distance? You do you, Gandalf. That said, if you're the type to rush through the main story, you might hit a wall with some of the tougher enemies. Turns out, skipping side quests means you're underleveled and suddenly that giant boss is looking at you like you're a snack. But hey, that's what cheat strategies are for, right? Overall, the combat is fun, fluid, and makes you want to pick fights just to try out your new toys. For clunky combat mechanics, I'm giving it a score of 0 out of 2, because when a game makes you want to fight, it's doing something right.
On sync.
Open worlds are like pizzas. When they're good, they're amazing. And when they're bad, they're just sad, soggy messes. And let me tell you, Avowed's world is a deep dish masterpiece. The maps are packed with secrets, puzzles, and loot that actually feels rewarding. I found myself constantly getting distracted by caves, towers, and hidden chests. It's like the game knows exactly how to bait my inner loot goblin. Plus, enemies don't respawn, which makes every fight feel meaningful. No more clearing the same bandit camp for the 47th time. And if you're feeling sneaky, you can often bypass enemies altogether, because sometimes you just want to grab the shiny thing and run. For empty open worlds, I'm scoring this a 0 out of 2, because exploring Avowed's world is like finding $20 in your pocket, unexpected and delightful.
Remember the strangle root. Be quiet.
Dialogue in RPGs can make or break the experience. When it's good, you're hanging on every word. When it's bad, you're smashing the skip button like your life depends on it. Avowed is a mixed bag. Some quests had me staying up way too late, invested in the characters and their stories. Others had me rolling my eyes and thinking, can we wrap this up please? I've got loot to find. The biggest missed opportunity in my opinion, your choices don't always feel impactful. You give an NPC life-changing advice, and when you come back later, it's like nothing happened. Sometimes the NPC is nowhere in sight. Which leads me to giving this a score of 1 out of 2. Because while the dialogue isn't terrible, the effects on the world leave something to be desired. Microtransactions, the bane of every gamer's existence. Nothing says, we care about your experience like charging $20 for a virtual hat. Thankfully, Avowed doesn't have any microtransactions. That's right, no loot boxes, no overpriced cosmetics, no pay-to-win nonsense. It's a single-player game that respects your wallet. That said, there is a premium edition that lets you play 5 days early, and yeah, it's a little annoying, but hey, at least it's not $20 for horse armor. As for progression, it's smooth and satisfying. You level up at a good pace, and the grind never feels overwhelming. The only downside, the enemy variety could use some work. Fighting the same 3 creatures for hours can get old fast. Which leads me to scoring this a 1 out of 2, because while the progression is solid, the lack of enemy variety is a bit of a buzzkill. Alright, time to tally it up. Avowed scores a 3 out of 10 on the anti-review scale. And remember, the lower the score, the better it is. So 3 is actually pretty good. The open world and combat are standout features, but the repetitive side quest, hit or miss dialogue, and lack of enemy variety keep it from being a perfect 0 out of 10. So you'd be picking up Avowed, or are you still recovering from the last RPG that made you collect 50 wolf pelts? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next anti-review. Until then, keep gaming, and maybe take a break from those fetch quests. You've earned it.